Opa, e aí pessoal, beleza? Estamos aí com mais um vídeo. Nesse vídeo eu quero aqui assistir pela primeira vez mais um vídeo aí divulgado aí pela PlayStation, falando aí sobre como que eles fizeram, né? Como foi o trabalho deles aí no desenvolvimento do God of War Ragnarök. E nesse vídeo aqui especificamente eles vão falar do combate, meus amigos, né? Que é uma coisa que é muito importante pra mim. Eu gosto muito do combate de God of War. E vamos lá ver esse vídeo, beleza? Let's go!
From a combat perspective, I always, and I still feel like the meat and potatoes of any God of War game is combat.
Cara, o combate, os caras têm que arrebentar, mano. Eu tô numa expectativa muito grande. Vocês vão conseguir melhorar, hein? Já deu pra ver ali novas finalizações ali, hein?
My name is Roberto Clemente. All my friends call me Bert. I'm a senior combat animator here at Sony Santa Monica.
My name is Kim Wynn, and I'm a gameplay animator.
Hi, I'm Sabra, and I'm a senior VFX artist on God of War Ragnarök.
My name is Grace Pan, and I'm a gameplay animator in God of War Ragnarök.
Hi, I'm Stephen O'Hara GBA, combat designer on God of War, and I create interesting and memorable creatures that players like to attack and defend against.
As an animator, you gave life to characters. You make them move, you give them personalities, you give them weight.
My role as a VFX artist is to put the power behind a move. You are in control of fire and earth and water and wind. Whether you are throwing your axe or on the receiving end of an enemy spell, VFX is what really gives the movement and the danger to every move that a character or enemy makes.
I work really closely with the design team and the tech art team on this project specifically. We actually work a lot with camera, along with the guidance of our great camera team, so I find myself doing fight choreography sometimes.
One of the most challenging parts about being a combat designer isn't the technical implementation of creating a creature, but it's really navigating that line between frustrating and engaging. We want to make something that makes players lean forward and focus and really try hard against that enemy and feel good about overcoming that, but we don't want to make them feel defeated if they can't figure something out.
And then it feels rewarding when you win, not because it was impossible, but because it was fun and engaging.
Nossa, mano.
After the last game, we've heard the community cry out for more mini-bosses, bigger creatures, and enemy variety, and this time we really leaned into that. So in God of War Ragnarök, you're going to be traveling to all 9 realms, and each realm is going to have like its own theme of enemies that are very unique to that space. For example, in Alfheim, we're familiar with the Dark Elves, but this time around we're going to be fighting Light Elves, such as the Light Elf Warrior. One of the key learnings from the last God of War game is we don't have to think about the camera and how close combat is going to feel. We already have that knowledge, so we can build upon the close camera that we have, and we can iterate on enemies, creating more interesting scenarios. In the last game, Atreus was just starting to fight alongside Kratos, and he was learning from the master tactician. So in this game, he's trying to prove himself a little bit more, and we built upon those mechanics with him.
The previous God of War, Atreus was still a kid, right? So he has a lot of dependency on his father. And for this game, you'll see Atreus moving more independently on his own.
Massa, mano.
In regards to VFX for Kratos, I think what the players really love
Legal, hein? Gostei
is
daquilo
the
ali.
powerfulness of it. When you are playing as Kratos, you really do feel like the God of War. And moving into Ragnarok, we want to really make something bigger, make it stronger, make it more of a spectacle. You want them to be like, oh my gosh, I didn't know that the Blades of Chaos could get even better, but look at that.
Nossa, velho.
So as Kratos gets more powerful, he's going to have access to newer combos and newer abilities that will increase the combat depth of each weapon. For the Blades, one of the moves that I've really enjoyed from previous God of Wars is the combat grapple, and we're going to be bringing that with a new twist.
I'm very excited for players to try the blade grapple traversal moves. That brings so much more
gostei
speed
também.
into the movement and the dynamic feel to it.
One of the ways we've expanded Kratos' combat this time around is we've given more utility and choice to the shield loadout.
If you are a parry person, you could really go for a shield that gears towards parrying. If you're a big blocker, then you could choose a shield that will really match your playstyle.
One new mechanic or element that I'm really excited about is these combo finishers. Building up the stun meter this time around is going to lead to different ways to basically decapitate the enemy.
You're going to be able to choose, which weapon you want to have when you kill a guy. Another feature that we've added for Kratos is his new pre-fall attacks. You could jump off a ledge.
Ataque de pulo é muito eu viajo, velho. Ataque de pulo. De soco agora, mano.
There's such an emphasis on verticality in some of these fights that it's super engaging. And as Kratos, now that
Você lembra dos God of War antigos, né? Que ele usava as lâminas pra atravessar essas regiões
I
assim.
think it just adds such another interesting layer to a fight.
In God of War Ragnarok, we've enhanced the Kratos.
Mano, esse jogo vai ser bagaceira, mano.
He's going to fight alongside you.
Pra quem gosta desse tipo de jogo aí, meu irmão.
His combo abilities too.
Some of the new expanded companion actions that you'll see Atreus do leverage.
O Atreus tá, nossa, mano.
And he's different from Kratos, so
o arco dele imbuído, mano. Isso eu já tinha visto, mas tá muito massa a movimentação dele, mano.
There are also a lot of mini games and player interaction moments. For example, like the puzzle systems and the set pieces. You definitely will see a lot more collaborations between father and son.
Esse cenário aí, mano, que massa, velho. Cenário espacial.
There's so much that goes into building a big set piece. You basically iterate and iterate and iterate, and it takes testing and just seeing what works to really figure out the personality of something. Basically, every department gives it their all to make things really spectacular. There were a lot of different times that I would look back at God of War games just through the ages before 2018. There were so many amazing, huge boss fights and set pieces that it was a huge inspiration for me on my time on this project.
Mano.
Our design philosophy for creating new and memorable enemies is basically making them a combat puzzle, similar to like chess, and focusing on the chess pieces. Each piece has its own theme and its own use.
You need to be able to see what's happening in an instant and be able
Esse
to
largatão tá massa o visual dele, viu, mano?
There's a couple of different ways that we go into making an attack very readable for the player. Sometimes we add a signature audio cue, or we'll add the different rings, such as what we did in the last game, that lets you know that this attack is unblockable, you need to dodge it.
Cara, não é só o visual que vai identificar, né, tipo de ataque, mas o som também é importante.
Not just show what an enemy is about to do, but show who the enemy really is.
Cara, você vê que eles tomam cuidado com vários detalhes, mano. Cara, é muita coisa envolvida, velho.
And a story. It's what makes it believable and memorable in the first place.
I think what I'm most excited about is for players to experience the diversity of enemies that this game has to offer. You will be fighting everything from small little creatures to things that will take up the entire screen.
Nossa, velho.
All of their designs run the gamut. I think each
Tô
one
muito
looks so
ansioso
much
pra ver
different
essas
from the
criaturas
next
grandes,
one,
hein?
and each of them have their own play styles and their own little fantasies that go into it. And so I think if you are really into Norse mythology, you'll be very interested to see how Sony Santa Monica has taken some of these creatures and interpreted them for God of War.
Everything that goes into the game, there's emotion behind it and intent behind it, and by the time it gets to you, everything that you've seen that you're going to play and experience has been sweated over, bled over, tested, and is fun to play.
Mano. Eu boto muita fé nesse jogo, mano. Cara, vai ser bagaceira, hein, meu irmão. Esse jogo vai ser bagaceira, meu irmão. Cara, eu fiquei aqui impressionado. Eu boto fé, sim, que eles conseguiram aí superar, né, o combate que eles entregaram em 2018. Tá bem perceptível, né, que Kratos tá mais ágil. Atreus parece também que ele tá melhor, né, ele tá mais ativo ali no combate. Isso é interessante, cara, porque eles têm que aproveitar o recurso, né, que o que eles têm criado para inteligência artificial, né? E as finalizações, parece que eles criaram mais finalizações. Estou muito ansioso para ver as novas armas. Eu não tenho dúvida nenhuma que tem mais armas, né? Muito ansioso para ver os inimigos grandes. Você vê que eles se preocuparam, cara, porque os inimigos eles têm vários tipos de ataques, né? Tem uns ataques que você pode defender e os ataques que você não pode defender. E aí eu achei legal ali que não é só a parte visual, né, que vai indicar esse tipo de ataque, mas o som também. Você tem que você prestar atenção também com o som que esses ataques emitem, né? Você pode ver, cara, o peso. Outra coisa que eu achei interessante, cara, é que o Kratos, né, a câmera fica bem próxima, mas em determinados momentos do combate, a câmera ela se afasta um pouco, né? Que aí você vai ter uma visão maior, né, do cenário. Eu achei interessante, hein? Tô bem curioso. Cara, resumindo, estou extremamente hypado, mano. Curti demais, vou assistir esse vídeo várias vezes. Quero ver a reação de outros youtubers, né? Aí ao redor do mundo, tem uma galera que eu já sigo aí no YouTube, quero ver a reação deles. É um tipo de conteúdo que eu gosto bastante e espero que vocês tenham gostado aí do meu aí, minha primeira vez assistindo esse vídeo aí, né? E cara, esse largatão aí, cara, tá muito legal, mano. Pô, galera, tá muito massa, mano. Esse jogo eu acredito que vai ser muito impactante, cara. Tanto na parte de gameplay, como na parte de narrativa e como na parte visual, cara. Tem muita gente que fica criticando, que isso não é importante, cara. É importante sim. Eu gosto de jogos com visual bonito, tá ligado? Videogame, galera, o principal é gameplay, concordo. Mas todo o conjunto, quando é bem feito, meu amigo, isso entrega uma experiência, meu amigo, diferenciada, né? E o que eu tô vendo aqui é isso, né? Gameplay top pra quem gosta desse tipo de gameplay, né? Claro, nem todo mundo gosta. Visual incrível. A parte de trilha sonora parece também que tá muito caprichada. E a narrativa parece que vai ser épica, hein? Então é isso, galera. Muito obrigado quem assistiu. Tamo junto, hein? Até a próxima, hein? Eu acredito que vai ter mais um, né? Semana que vem. E vou acompanhar todos os meus amigos. Valeu? Tamo junto, hein? Fui!